Hello students, now we are going to discuss some important topics in second lesson current electricity. The topics are given here. First, determination of internal resistance of the cell. The electric circuit diagram is given here. We know that a real battery is made of electrodes and electrolyte. There is a resistance to the flow of charges within the battery, and this resistance is called internal resistance and is represented by the letter small r. The EMF of the cell is measured by connecting high resistance voltmeter across it without connecting the external resistance R. This circuit may be considered as open. The voltmeter reading gives the EMF of the cell. Then the external resistance is included in the circuit and current I is established in the circuit. The circuit is then considered as closed. The voltmeter reading gives the potential difference V across R. By Ohm's law, we can write V is equal to I into R, which can be written as I is equal to V by R. Due to the internal resistance of the cell, the voltmeter reads the value capital V, which is less than the EMF psi. It is because certain amount of voltage I into small r has dropped across the internal resistance R. Hence, we can write the potential difference equation as V is equal to psi minus IR, where IR is equal to psi minus capital V, where R is equal to psi minus V by I, which is equal to psi minus V by V into R. Since psi, V and R are known, internal resistance R and the total current I can be determined. The power delivered to the circuit is calculated by the equation P is equal to I into psi, which is equal to I into V plus IR, which is equal to I into IR plus I into small r. Hence, P is equal to I squared into capital R plus I squared into small r. Here, I squared into capital R represents the power delivered to the resistor capital R, and I squared into small r represents the power delivered to the resistor small r. Now we are going to determine the equation for current delivered by the combination of the batteries when they are connected in series. Here the circuit diagram is given for the cells when they are connected in series. Let us imagine n number of cells of EMF psi and internal resistance R are connected in series with an external resistance capital R. Let n into psi be the total EMF of the battery and n small r plus capital R be the total resistance of the circuit. According to Ohm's law, I equal to total EMF divided by total resistance, which is equal to n into psi divided by n r plus capital R. This is equation number 1. We know that the internal resistance small r is very much less than the external resistance capital R, so that the equation 1 becomes I is equal to n into psi divided by R, capital R, which is equal to n into I1, because I1 is equal to what? Psi by R, which is given in bracket, such that if small r is negligible compared to capital R, the current supplied by the battery is n times that supplied by the single cell. If the internal resistance of the cell small r is said to be greater than the external resistance capital R, then the equation 1 becomes I is equal to n into psi divided by n into small r, which is equal to psi by small r, which is equal to I1, such that when R is said to be very greater than capital R, current due to the whole battery is same as due to the single cell. Next one, cells in parallel. Here we are going to discuss about what will be the current produced by the cells when they are connected in parallel. Let us imagine n number of cells, each of EMF psi and internal resistance R are connected in parallel with an external resistance capital R. Let n into psi be the total EMF of the battery and small r by n plus capital R be the total resistance of the circuit. According to Ohm's law, the current equation can be written as I is equal to total EMF divided by total resistance, which is equal to psi by small r by n plus capital R, which is equal to n into psi divided by n into small r plus capital R. This is equation number 1. Next, we are going to discuss about if the internal resistance of the cell is said to be less than the external resistance capital R, then the equation 1 becomes I is equal to n into psi divided by capital R, which is equal to n into I1, where I1 is equal to what? As we know, psi by capital R, which is given in the bracket, such that we can conclude that if small r is negligible than capital R, the current supplied by the battery is n times that supplied by the single cell. If small r is very much greater than capital R, then the equation 1 becomes I is equal to n into psi divided by n into small r, which is equal to psi by small r, which is equal to I1, such that if small r is very greater than capital R, current due to the whole battery is same as due to the single cell. Next, Kirchhoff's rule. We are familiar with Ohm's law, but Ohm's law is useful only for simple circuit. But for more complex circuits, Kirchhoff's rules can be used to find current and voltage. There are two rules. One is Kirchhoff's first rule, current rule, and the another one is Kirchhoff's voltage rule. Let us discuss about that. Kirchhoff's first rule, which is also named as current rule or junction rule. This law states that the algebraic sum of the current at any junction in a circuit is 0, which is represented by sigma I is equal to 0. In order to explain this law, look at the picture. In the picture, we can see a point A. This point is known as junction, which means that at this point only the current are moving towards or moving away from the point, so that the point is known as a junction. So look at the direction of the current. If the current is pointing towards the junction, that current must be represented with plus. If the current is acting away from the junction, the current must be represented with the symbol minus. So we can write the law for this junction A as, look at the picture, the direction of the current I1 and I2. The direction of the current I1 and I2 are towards the junction A. So we have to write I1 and I2 with the plus. So I1 plus I2. And next, see the direction of current I3, I4 and I5. I3, I4 and I5 are acting away from the junction. So we have to write these current with the sign minus. So we have to write as minus I3 minus I4 minus I5 is equal to 0. We can write I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. So from this equation we can say that thus all the charges that enter a given junction in a circuit must leave that junction, which means current entering the junction is taken as positive and current leaving the junction is taken as negative. So it is the statement of conservation of electric charge. That is what known as Kirchhoff's first rule. Next, Kirchhoff's second rule, which is also known as voltage rule or loop rule. The electrical circuit diagram is given here. This law states that in a closed circuit, the algebraic sum of the product of the current and the resistance of each part of the circuit is equal to the total EMF included in the circuit, which can be written as sigma IR is equal to sigma psi. It is the statement of conservation of energy for an isolated system. The product capital I into capital R is when we proceed the direction of current and taken as negative when we proceed opposite to the direction of current. So once again I repeat, the product IR is taken as positive when we proceed along the direction of current and is taken as negative when we proceed opposite to the direction of current. Note it down. Similarly, the EMF is considered as positive when we proceed from the negative to positive terminal of the cell and as negative when we proceed from positive to the negative terminal of the cell. So these are some rules in order to follow the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Next one, Wheatstone's bridge. The electrical circuit diagram is given here. An important application of Kirchhoff's law is the Wheatstone's bridge. It is used to compare the resistance, and it helps to determine the unknown resistance of the electrical network. The bridge consists of 4 resistors P, Q, R, S, and they are connected as shown in figure. A galvanometer G is connected in between B and D. A battery of EMF psi is connected between the point A and C. Let I1, I2, I3, I4 be the currents flowing through the various branches, and Ig be the current flowing through the galvanometer. Applying Kirchhoff's current law at point B and D, we can write I1 minus Ig minus I3 is equal to 0. This is equation number 1. Similarly, I2 plus Ig minus I4 is equal to 0. This is equation number 2. Similarly, we are going to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law for the loop ABDA and for the loop ABCDA. For the loop ABDA, we can write I1P plus IgG minus I2R is equal to 0. This is equation number 3. And for the loop ABCDA, the Kirchhoff's voltage law can be written as I1P plus I3Q minus I2R minus I4S is equal to 0. This is equation 4. At balanced condition, the potential at point B and D are same, and hence the galvanometer shows 0 deflection, so Ig becomes 0. By applying Ig is equal to 0 in the equations 1, 2 and 3, this equation will become I1 minus I3 is equal to 0, which will become I1 is equal to I3. Similarly, I2 minus I4 is equal to 0, which will become I2 is equal to I4. And I1P minus I2R is equal to 0, which will become I1P is equal to I2R. These are equations 5, 6 and 7. Now we are going to apply the equation 5 and 6 in equation 4. Then the equation 4 will become I1P plus I1Q minus I2R minus I2S is equal to 0. I1 into P plus Q minus I2 into R plus S is equal to 0. Then I1 into P plus Q is equal to I2 into R plus S. This is equation 8. Now we are going to divide the equation 8 by the equation 7, which will become I1 into P plus Q divided by I1P is equal to I2 into R plus S divided by I2 into R. After cancelling I1 and I2, we can write P plus Q divided by P is equal to R plus S divided by R, which also can be written as 1 plus Q by P is equal to 1 plus S by R. After cancelling 1, we can write Q by P is equal to S by R. This equation also can be written as P by Q is equal to R by S. This is equation number 9. With the help of this equation, we can compare the value of resistance of two different resistors, or we can find the resistance of the given resistor in the electrical circuit. Next one, meter bridge. This electrical circuit helps to determine the resistance of the given wire. Here the experimental arrangement is given. Meter bridge is another form of Wheatstone's bridge. It consists of a uniform manganese wire AB of 1 meter length. This wire is stretched along a meter scale between two copper strips C and D. E is another copper strip mounted with two gaps G1 and G2. An unknown resistance P is connected in gap G1 and a standard resistance is connected in gap G2. A jockey is connected from E through a galvanometer G and high resistance HR. A Lagrange cell of EMF psi and key K is connected across the bridge wire. The position of a jockey is adjusted on the manganese wire in order to get the zero deflection on the galvanometer. The length AJ and JB now replace the resistance R and S of the Wheatstone's bridge. Then P by Q is equal to R by S, which is equal to R dash into AJ divided by R dash into JB. After cancelling R dash, we can get P by Q is equal to AJ by JB, which is equal to L1 by L2. This is equation 1, where P is equal to Q into L1 by L2. This is equation number 2. This equation helps to determine the resistance of the given wire. Sometimes, due to the imperfect contact of wire at the ends, some resistance might be introduced at the contact. These are known as end resistances. By interchanging the resistances P and Q, this error can be eliminated and the average value of P is found. Let L be the length and R be the radius of the wire. The specific resistance of the given wire can be calculated by the equation rho is equal to P into A divided by L, which is equal to P into pi R square divided by L. This is equation number 3. So this equation represents the specific resistance of the given wire. So with the help of meter bridge circuit, we can determine the value of resistance and the specific resistance of the given wire. Next, potentiometer. This electrical circuit helps to compare the EMF of the cell with the balancing length. Let us determine the principle of potentiometer. Let us imagine a battery, key and potentiometer wire CD are connected in series, which forms the primary circuit. The positive terminal of the primary cell of EMF psi is connected to the point C and the negative terminal is connected to the point D through galvanometer, high resistance HR, and this forms the secondary circuit. Let contact be made at J on the wire by jacking. If the potential difference across Cj is equal to the EMF psi of the cell, then the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Here Cj is said to be the balancing length, which is represented by the letter small l. If R is the resistance per unit length of the wire, then by Ohm's law, potential difference across Cj can be written as I into R into L, which means that psi is equal to I or L. So we can write psi is directly proportional to L, which means that the EMF of the cell is directly proportional to the balancing length. Thank you, students. Leave your doubts in the comment box.